Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6.
Eagle Eye TV has done a great job.
And welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6.
We are just having a great time here in Auburn, Alabama. The party is not over yet.
Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Allison Thomas.
And I'm Gavin Dimmitt. Tonight we're recapping a busy weekend and start of the week. We'll look at some local events and follow with local and global politics with Eye on the Hill.
Ava Bradbury has entertainment news, and to lead us out, we have a business and consumer update regarding a volatile economy. Thanks for joining us. The Alabama Senior Olympics has made its way to Opelika, bringing competition and community. Just some of many events include cycling, pickleball, and swimming. Disc golf is another activity helping those 50 and older stay active. Organizers say it's about more than competition. Instead, the focus is on providing opportunity and supporting participation in sports and wellness. The event also brings financial benefits to the community as well. For many people, it's a chance to prove that age is just a number. Opelika Auburn Disc Golf Club President Ryan Nichols spoke on the program's usefulness.
It gets people outdoors, exercising, and then as far as, you know, the economic impacts, you have the people in from out of town who are staying in hotels and eating out, so it's giving back to that also.
Last week, the College of Nursing held an Easter egg filling for Esperanza House. Esperanza House is a nonprofit organization for low-income Hispanic families to provide healthcare and tutoring for children with language barriers issues. Eagle Eye's Annabelle Whetstone has more.
Today I'm here at Auburn University's College of Nursing. The Student Nurses Association hosted an Easter egg filling event for Esperanza House. Let's ask members of the Student Nurses Association more about the event.
Esperanza House is a nonprofit organization that deals with low-income Hispanic families. They provide free healthcare support, free tutoring for children who have to face language barriers at home.
Yeah, well, I have a really big passion for Hispanic communities in Auburn. I actually speak Spanish, and so I get to serve them in a special way and talk to the families, and I've had a lot of really cool conversations with the kids and the parents, the family members. But serving them in this way, packaging Easter eggs for them, we just get to share the love of Christ.
And we spend so much time in the classroom or the hospital together, and I think you really get to know people in that way more, and it's really cool. I think a lot of times service can be seen as like way outside your community, but to really reach into the community and see even how people around here can help you out, and so I think you get to know a lot about each other through serving, and so that's been a really cool thing.
This is Annabelle Whetstone with Eagle Eye TV signing off.
Last week, the University Program Council invited students to experience 70 years of pop music and culture, rolling through the decades. Taking place in the Melton Ballroom, the event featured games, music, and styles from every decade between the 1950s and 2010s. Students were encouraged to dress in the theme of their favorite decade and go roller skating in a temporarily set up skating rink. Various food items and candies were featured from each era, and attendees could wear headphones to listen to the music of their choice from 3 different channels. When we come back, you'll get a weather update from Eagle Eye's Michael Brandis. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Michael Brandis, bringing you this week's weather outlook on the plains. This week is sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, as we see mostly sunny skies with a very light cloud cover and near no risk of rain. Temperatures shall continue to climb over the week as highs begin nearing 90 on Saturday. For the night crowd, evening lows will climb above 60 degrees. Today is about as windy as it gets this week, with speeds remaining mostly below 7 miles per hour. However, you can expect some nice southbound breezes this weekend as cool air moves up from the southeast. Looking at temperatures, it seems this season of spring may be cut a few episodes short. The heat this week, has a high of 88 degrees with most days will approach that high. That is until those winds we talked about this spring brings cooler air into the region, lowering temperatures down to 80 degrees. Perhaps ironically, Sunday will also be the only day with any significant risk of rain. With a 20% risk of light showers, the rest of this week will see no relief, with chances of rain being near zero. A-Day is this Saturday, and with it comes some of the strongest heat this week at 87 degrees. Very little cloud cover. There will be very little cloud cover, so make sure to wear sunscreen to keep cool. Overall, this weekend will be mostly sunny. We will be greeted with few clouds, and we shall be greeted with a few clouds here and there, and with a sharp dip in temperatures between Saturday and Sunday. As stated before, light breezes are expected. And that's your weather outlook from Eagle Eye News. Up next, our political expert, Jalen Walker, has his eye on the hill, so don't go anywhere, and have a fine week. War Eagle.
Big news from across the country. I'm Jalen Walker with Eye on the Hill. Peace talks over the weekend between the U.S. and Iran have stalled. President Trump announced yesterday that a U.S. military will be executing a blockade on the Strait of Hormuz, causing stocks to go down and oil prices to surge. CNN has the details.
Yeah, look, everyone's watching it right now, and it's very clear that the traffic there is thinning out. Shippers are saying that they are not going to put tankers through there. Lloyd's of London, the insurers, saying they are seeing a complete stoppage of movement. The United States over the weekend said it put two guided missile destroyers through there on a sort of a mine clearing exercise. So it's not quite clear what the sort of military navy element of enforcing this blockade is going to look like, but we know structurally how it's going to be. It's going to blockade all Iranian ports inside the Arabian Gulf, or the Persian Gulf as the Iranians call it, and outside in what's known as the Gulf of Oman. So it's going to put a block on the Iranian block, so there'll be no international shipping going through, and no Iranian shipping or any ships that the Iranians might have allowed through, for them to make money. That's all going to stop. The question is, what happens next? Do the Hawks or the Doves win in Tehran? In Tehran, you have the hardline, the IRGC membership, and we've heard from some of those leaders overnight saying, look, if you, the United States, shut down the Strait of Hormuz, then we are going to shut down the Red Sea route, the Bab al-Mandab, that bit that passes Yemen. They've got their Houthi proxies there who are well experienced in hitting marine shipping, including tankers, trying to exit the Red Sea. So you look like you could get an escalation there of the inability to move oil around the world.
Trump says the talks between the U.S. and Iran have stalled over nuclear weapons. Turning back to the homeland, a shakeup has occurred in California's hotly contested governor's race. Late last night, Congressman Eric Swalwell, one of the frontrunners in the race, has dropped out after allegations that he sexually assaulted former staffers, including one who said he raped her. Before he dropped out, Swalwell had this to say about the allegations.
A lot has been said about me today through anonymous allegations, and I thought it was important that you see and hear from me directly. These allegations of sexual assault are flat false. They are absolutely false. They did not happen. They have never happened, and I will fight them with everything that I have. They also come on the eve of an election where I have been the frontrunner candidate for governor in California. I do not suggest to you in any way that I'm perfect or that I'm a saint. I have certainly made mistakes in judgment in my past, but those mistakes are between me and my wife. And to her, I apologize deeply for putting her in this position. I also apologize to you if in any way you have doubted your support for me. But I think you know who I am. For over 20 years, I have served the public as a city councilman, as a member of Congress, and as a prosecutor who went to court on behalf of victims, particularly on behalf of sexual assault victims. That's who I am and have always been. This weekend, I'm going to spend time with my family and friends, and I appreciate those who have reached out to me to show support, and I look forward to updating you very soon.
Swalwell is facing expulsion in the House for the allegation. 2/3 of the House of Representatives must vote in favor of expulsion for Swalwell to be kicked out. Continuing with looking at Alabama races in anticipation for the primary elections on May 19th, let's look at the governor and Senate races. Kay Ivey, Alabama's longest continually serving governor, is term limited leaving the race wide open. On the Republican side, current Senator Tommy Tuberville is the prohibitive favorite over challengers Ken McPheeters and Alabama Will Senovisky. On the Democrat side, former Senator Doug Jones is the favorite against 5 other challengers, including 2022 Democratic nominee Yolanda Rochelle Flowers. In the U.S. Senate race to replace Tommy Tuberville, a crowded field on both sides makes this race competitive. On the GOP side, House Representative Barry Moore, on the back of President Trump's endorsement, looks to be the favorite, but 6 challengers, including current Attorney General Steve Marshall and Navy SEAL Jared Hudson, make a runoff all but certain. 4 Democrats are running on the other side, including Republican-turned-Democrat Kyle Sweeser. That's all that we have for Eye on the Hill this week. When we come back, you'll get a national news update from Back in the Desk. For Eye on the Hill, I'm Jalen Walker.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. In national news, FBI agents raided a suburban Houston home Monday in connection to an attack on Sam Altman's house. The home agents searched may have some connection to a 20-year-old suspect who police arrested Saturday. That happened in San Francisco a day after someone threw a Molotov cocktail at the OpenAI CEO's house early Friday morning. Police there say the suspect previously threatened to burn down OpenAI's headquarters. No federal charges have been filed. Investigators are still working to uncover a motive.
On Monday, a federal judge dismissed President Donald Trump's defamation lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal. The issue was reporting about a more than 20-year-old letter to Jeffrey Epstein attributed to Trump. It contained lewd language and the outline of a naked woman. Trump denies writing the letter and claims the journal acted with actual malice when it reported the story. The court found Trump's lawyers didn't come to the meeting a standard for defamation against a public figure. That standard is much higher than what is required to show defamation against a private citizen. The judge dismissed the case without prejudice, meaning Trump has until the end of the month to refile.
President Donald Trump is defending an image he posted to social media on Sunday. In the AI-generated image, Trump is glowing and has his hand on what appears to be a sick man's forehead. It was widely criticized as Trump being depicted as Jesus, but he says that's not right.
And I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better.
Trump posted the image shortly after criticizing Pope Leo XIV for speaking against the war in Iran. Some critics called it blasphemous. It was removed much the same way it was posted, without an explanation. When we return, you'll get an entertainment update with Ava Bradbury. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Ava Bradbury, here to update you on the top entertainment stories of the week. Festival goers streamed into Southern California to kick off the first weekend of Coachella last Friday. Traffic seemed to be off to a much better start this year. After last year's infamous 9-hour gridlock, organizers rolled out a new plan, adding more check-in areas, keeping cars moving with a steady, continuous flow. Sabrina Carpenter, Justin Bieber, and Karol G are set to headline the 2-weekend Music and Arts Festival. The iconic festival draws more than 100,000 people each weekend, turning the Coachella Valley into a non-stop celebration of music, fashion, and culture. Britney Spears is voluntarily seeking unspecified treatment in a facility. The singer's representative confirmed she checked herself in shortly after she was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence last month. Spears has a long history with mental health struggles and was under a conservatorship for several years that ended in 2021. Since then, the toxic singer has erratically posted bizarre content on social media that has concerned some fans. Her camp says this treatment might be the first step in overdue change that has been needed in her life. Hip-hop music mogul Dr. Dre has made it to the Forbes Billionaires list. Born Andre Young in Compton, California, the now 61-year-old Dr. Dre went on to become a world-famous musician, producer, and businessman. The Grammy Award-winning artist co-founded Death Row Records and then created Aftermath Entertainment, working with artists like Snoop Dogg, Tupac Shakur, 50 Cent, and Eminem. He co-founded Beats Electronics in 2008, the company behind the $300 headphones. 6 years later, Beats was sold to Apple for $3 billion. While he has also broadened his ventures to include the alcoholic beverage market, Dre told Forbes he's still working on music, including hundreds of unreleased tracks created during the pandemic, and that he still has a lot of gas left in the tank. Dr. Dre is the second hip-hop billionaire on the Forbes list after Jay-Z. And that is all I have for you tonight. When we come back, you'll get a business/consumer update from Allison and Gavin. I'm Ava Bradbury, and you're watching Eagle Eye News at 6. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Gavin Dimmitt. AAA says regular gas is holding steady around $4.13 a gallon. But oil prices look volatile Monday as the U.S. implements a blockage of Iranian ports. Brent and WTI crude are fluctuating around $100 a barrel. U.S. Central Command says vessels are still able to traverse the Strait of Hormuz when going between non-Iranian ports. Experts say the blockade could cost Iran money, but also could further strain global energy markets. A long-term ceasefire plan between Tehran and Washington remains elusive.
IBM has agreed to pay the federal government roughly $17 million to resolve allegations of illegal DEI practices. The Justice Department alleged IBM knowingly made false claims about its hiring and employment practices in federal contracts. IBM denied that it had discriminatory and illegal DEI practices. The settlement emphasized that the agreement was neither an admission of liability by IBM nor a concession by the government that its claims lack merit. The Justice Department brought the case under its newly formed Civil Rights Fraud Initiative. The Trump administration last year cracked down on DEI practices in public and private sectors.
While there's a drought here in Lee County, the dry weather is affecting farmers even in Georgia. From Atlanta, Abby Corrales reports.
In Morgan County, farmer Lee Nunn starts every day the same way. He checks the ground, then he checks the sky, because the dirt under his boots is drying out fast.
And that's almost like a brick. I mean, that's just hard Georgia red clay, and it is super dry.
And that hard clay doesn't just sit there, it eats up his equipment and cash.
It's almost like running a big piece of sandpaper over it. It's so dry.
Nunn's not alone. The latest U.S. drought monitor shows 98% of Georgia sits in drought right now. Half of the state falls in extreme drought, while nearly 1 in 5 sits in exceptional drought, the worst category. And you can see it. Lake levels dropping, rivers thinning out, and fire danger climbing. This hits at the worst time. It's planting season. Cotton, peanuts, wheat. The seed needs moisture. Fertilizer needs moisture. Without water, every pass across a field turns into a gamble.
Less weight, that means less yield, that means less money.
Margins are already thin. Diesel and fertilizer prices are going up. There are alternatives, but they cost money.
This is a cornfield, and the corn is about 3 weeks old.
In Oglethorpe, farmer Donald Chase shows us a field. Corn still small, but already thirsty. Water irrigation helps, but drives the cost up.
If you see pivots running, understand that is raising the cost of producing that crop.
For Nunn, he's putting extra money in the offering plate and saying prayers, hoping it rains soon or the drought starts calling the shots for the rest of the season.
If you're a farmer, I mean, you're the biggest gambler there is. When you place a seed in the ground and hope, 6 months later that everything goes well.
That's all for tonight, but for more Auburn news, head over to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, and check out our social media pages. I'm Allison Thomas.
And I'm Gavin Dimmitt. In production tonight are Johnny Kenninger, Morgan Sims, and Tessa Allen. Thank you for watching. Good night, Auburn. War Eagle.